I'd like to invite our sister Michelle to take us into this Thursday night Insight program. So Michelle, welcome.
Welcome and thank you, Brother Eric. As always, every week, it's a delight to be here once again for our Thursday night insightful conversations, where we explore the reaches of our own spirituality and our own innate capacity for love, for peace, and to recognize the power, the great power that we have within ourselves. As most of you, our regulars, know, the theme for March is keep calm, stay wise, be kind. And this is especially important in recognition of International Day of Happiness, which is coming March 20th. So we're going to work extra hard to be happy tonight and going forward. Tonight's topic is seeing a problem as a gift depends on our perception. And that's a very important conversation, I will say, because what we see is what we look for. And that's from a quote. I didn't say that. I wish I said that. That's John Lubbock, who was a 19th century philosopher and a great mind. And he said it very well, that the situation that we're presented to, oftentimes it's what we bring to that situation that determines how it unfolds. So a situation could be an opportunity, a gift, or it could be even a disaster. And it's up to us. It's the choices that we make on how we perceive that relationship, that event, that person. So we're going to dive into that tonight. I want to introduce our guests tonight. We're very fortunate. And for those of you, and I know many of you were able to enjoy that beautiful meditation that was given by Iris Zur, who joined her husband, our speaker tonight, Zvika. Iris has been in the Raja Yoga practice for well over 2 decades, and she is an administrator in healthcare. She's a mother of twins, and she serves as a teacher and a coordinator for retreats of youth at Peace Village, and we talk about Peace Village. Many of you have been to Peace Village, as have I, as well as providing for coordination and communications for the Boston Center, Brahma Kumara Center. So thank you so much, Iris, for that beautiful, beautiful meditation. And now I turn to her husband, who is Zvika Zur, and he's been practicing, like Iris, Raja meditation for more than 20 years. He was born in Israel, as was Iris, and they're introduced to the Brahma Kumari spiritual organization in the late 90s when he moved to the US with Iris, right? They both moved together. And they started a family, we mentioned, they're parents of twins, and he embarked on his professional career as a software engineer. And I'll give you a little tip. I was able to converse with Zvika last night, and I'm so excited. I've really been looking forward to this. So with that, I want to welcome you, Zvika, and if you'd like to open and just say a few words before we, as I said, dive in. Welcome, and thank you both for being with us tonight.
Well, what can I say? Of course, I'm not just happy, but excited to be here with everyone this evening. And you were saying that we're going to try hard to be happy for the International Day of Happiness. And I was thinking, why do we need to work so hard to be happy, right? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
It's as though we have accustomed to forget it, but it is not hard to be happy. So hopefully today we're going to uncover some things and become lighter and happier.
Well, that was great. You caught me. That's right. I generally, when people see me, they think she's a happy person because I usually am happy. But even the way I come to things, and we're going to talk about that I think it's a job to be happy. And I'm not the only one. If you go to any Barnes and Nobles, you will see shelf after shelf of how to be happy, how to have a happier life. So there's the world kind of pushes that forward, that imagery that you have to work, that you have to make it happy. So it's true. So with that, you talked about seeing the world half full or half empty. And from my own perspective, I think the world is pretty good. I mean, I was watching that videotape. The world is a beautiful place. The people here are beautiful. And you can pull off that, but yet some people still see the world, you know, it's not great. Where does that perception come from in terms of how we view the world? Is it our past experiences? Can you delve into that a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've been conditioned that way or the other way. And that saying of seeing the half full or half empty, I know this from many years ago. And interestingly, some people would look in different situations on the good, on the half full, while others at the same situation might see it from a different angle and focus on the empty part. But I feel it's all a matter of training, all a matter of education. And when I say education, it's not education like the school system or anything like that. It's more like being in the company of your family, observing your parents. I want to give a little example. So think about a little boy or a little girl, and they go out to the open ocean. You know, there's a little tour that's taking them. And as they go out of the harbor outside to the open sea, the waves start rising, you know, of the open ocean. And the child is sitting in his mom's lap. And then the waves start to shake the boat. So, you know, the child senses mom's vibration. And if mom is calm and she smiles and her tone of voice is good, there could be huge waves there, but there's a feeling that everything is okay. So this child is trained to know that all is okay and there's no threat. So in the same way, we get to learn and get conditioned to see situations as difficult or as threats. And when it is a threat, it becomes a problem. And usually we want to escape the situation or avoid it, right? But when it's the opposite, the same situation could look as an opportunity. The same thing, the very same thing, it depends from where you look at it. It could be a gift, actually. And it's all my beliefs, which I have trained myself, conditioned myself over my life, or through the people I've been with and the things I've been told and my past experiences, yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. You remind me of when my sons, I have two sons, and when they used to fall, I remember when they were very young, instead of, getting upset, I would yell, "Wee!" And they were never afraid when they fell. They would get right back up. They didn't even cry. They would, a little ooh, ooh, ooh. And I would go, "Wee, hooray!" And they would get back up and keep running. As opposed to, I've seen some parents, and that kid is child, and starts crying. So that's a wonderful conditioning that, I wasn't even aware of, the consequences. My kids they're old now, they're older than I am. They just keep going. So that's wonderful. Thank you. It is exactly a conditioning. We are conditioned so I wanted to ask you, and you brought this up, and it's so, I warned you I was going to bring this up. Whatever is in the way is the way. And so many of complain, why is this happening? What is in front of us? What is going on? But that is the way, that you could look at that so-called obstacle and actually go right through it, as opposed to letting it stop you. The mountain, as we say, becomes lamb's wool. So can you speak to that a little bit, Zvika? Because that's so wonderful.
Yes, definitely. So you see, as soon as we realize that all of us have some preconditioning, all of us have our, I don't know if we want to call it a plateau, but it's more like soft spots where we have maybe perceived some things to be difficult or problematic, or we're scared of them, right? So in those cases, in those situations, we need this mom with this conditioning. So when we become, but now we're not children anymore, we're adults. However, we learn here that we are these spiritual beings. The being inside still is a child. And when we become more introverted and more introspected, that's when we can allow ourselves to become children again. Otherwise, we are adults, we have to get things done. And in that soft, gentle space, it is then that we can remember or be reminded, or if you will, open up or reach out to the wisdom of that mother, to the wisdom of that parent. And really, as a soul, that is where we have a connection with the supreme, universal sense of truth, sense of wisdom. It's something we have inside, and it just gets awakened. So we have to invoke that. We have to call out to that, right? Let go of our defenses and become children in front of that higher supreme source, if you will. And that's when we open up as children to regain that sense of safety, of hope, of trust. And that parent, if we were to listen, really tells us, everything is okay. They tell us about the secrets and the law of life. And the secret is exactly this saying, kind of, in a way, that really everything that happens to you is for your own good. And it's supposed to move you forward on your journey, even if it sometimes is a bump or feels a little difficult, right? But that sense of wisdom reassures you that everything is okay and that you do not need to run away, and that kind of encourages you, come on, right? And it says, no, we need to reframe what's going on here. And yesterday evening, I told you, and now I'm telling you again, behind you, there's a picture, right? Look at that picture behind there. And there's a beautiful image, but there's a frame on the picture. Mm-hmm. So the wise parent is telling us to reframe what's going on. It's not bad. It's actually good. It's actually a gift. It's actually going to make you grow. So that is what it means, that whatever we see in the way and might feel like an obstacle or a difficulty, it's actually benevolent. Mm-hmm. It's actually what's in the way is the way, and it's for you. It's your way. It's customized and curated just for you. As much so, what we first need to do is learn to reframe, which means put a completely whole new frame on the situation. And the new frame is, this is for my benefit. What's happening is good, is a gift. I'm going to come out of this better off at the end. You know, that is the law of karma, you can say in another way. But there is a little condition there that the wise parent tells us about. Mm-hmm. And that is when they say, hold on to my hand and trust me, and I will hold you and I'll carry you over. So what that parent says is, just hold on to goodness. Sometimes we call it here purity. Sometimes we say truth. What it means is really look in the mirror of your heart and clean it and make sure that you're holding on only to pure feelings and good wishes. These, as long as you do that, there's another saying that is going well with that. The saying says, the boat of this purity or of this truth may shake, may rock, but it will not sink, which is that guarantee. As long as I abide to the highest laws of the universe, of spiritual laws, and keep these good wishes for others, even if they don't keep it, and they sometimes make it hard for me to keep it, right?
Mhm.
So it could be that my test situation is someone that is making life hard for me. But the point is this: they will do what they will do, but the question is, what do I do? It's like a separate bank account, if you will. And will I hold the hand of the highest truth? And no matter what, because I'm looking at that one instead of them, keep sending good wishes and pure feelings. So as long as that happens, the boat will not sink. And the day will come
Mhm.
that I will feel that my greatest test was my best friend, because they helped me to overcome my buttons, those things that made me weak,
Mhm.
that triggered me, and I came out victorious, you know? So this is what it means. So I can just say, oh no, here they come again, right? And say, oh no, they are in my way. Oh, but instead, I should embrace an attitude that whatever is in my way is the way for me to move forward, actually. So we need a little courage to not avoid or step away. So for that, we need to reframe the situation, right? Instead of saying, oh no, it's coming again. And we might feel a little anxious too, but that's fine. We should not allow that to make us turn. We need, with this parent, with this wisdom, we can develop the power to face. And then we reframe and we say, you know what? This is an opportunity now. This is an opportunity for me to grow and retrain those conditionings, that because there's no other way to change it. I can just be there and talk to myself and do all this, but when the only way to change it is on the field of action, when I train myself again, and all my system learns that, oh no, I don't have to be the way I was. So the training is practice in the lab, not in theory. So for that, I need to face the situation, have a little courage, know that my victory is guaranteed. The only two conditions are that I need to stay truthful and honest and keep my good wishes and pure feelings. And for that, I need to hold on to that higher wisdom, to the source. Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, you know, what you said is just so spot on, but oftentimes we have to see it to believe it. And I think, are there any experiments? Because I can think of experiments that I did when I was faced with an obstacle. And sometimes that obstacle is in the form of a fellow human. And I have found that if I do as you subscribe, where I do, before I meet with that so-called person that we talked about some people that, I would brace myself before I'd walk into a room like, oh, here it comes. I know, because my past experience with that person may have been perceived to be negative, but I can work through it. But the moment, as you say, that I bring in love and wish for that person what I wish for myself, that's what I always say. I wish for you what I wish for myself, that pure feeling. When I experiment with that, you're right, it always comes out okay. It's like the law of attraction. It attracts that high energy, attracts energy. Do you have any personal stories, perhaps in the workplace, where you were able to use that and it was able to actually filter to the other people? Does that energy transfer to others when you're that high in terms of your good feelings and your good wishes for others? Do they pick up on that?
Yeah. So another thing that we learn here actually in our study is that a lot of our communication is we pick up things in a more subtle way. It's through our body language, through our eyes. The eyes are the windows to the inner being. So if you are having good wishes and pure feelings, you can look at someone in the eyes and they will catch those. They will immediately see, or through your face or through your smile. And if you have the other ones, right? If you have, let's say you have the opposite, and let's say you don't have negative feelings, okay? You just have a little bit of, I don't even want to say criticism. Criticism is a little, I'll call it more.
Trepidation.
I have another word, very
like
subtle.
A trepidation? Okay.
A little commenting. So commenting
I
means,
like that.
yeah,
That's
commenting
good.
is you don't tell them nothing, you don't say anything to them, but when you observe them, there's a little comment inside about something. And obviously that comment is maybe some weakness they have or something they do, which, so this commenting means when you look at them, you cannot hide that, even though you don't say anything anymore. Just the fact that you are having this type of thoughts about them, we call these subtle communication or vibrations. And even the thoughts themselves, believe it or not, reach out. So that is why it's so important to keep your heart clean and pure. And a very wise person once told me that even if someone has some weaknesses, or many of them, everyone has some specialty. There's no one that doesn't have any specialty. So the teaching was, put on the spectacles that can focus on that thing and see that and appreciate this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that will allow you to change or transform the attitude. Because if, just like if someone, if I have these thoughts for someone, these vibrations, they travel in the same way. When others feel certain feelings or emotions or sensations about me, I also pick those up or can pick those up. Sometimes I like to have the image of the chameleon. The chameleon gets colored by the branch they're on. And the company we keep colors us, the people that we're surrounded with. And we color them with our vibration, our energy. This is going on, and especially these days, when many people might be maybe experiencing difficulty and they have maybe hopeless feeling, or so very easily I can just find myself in that mood and feel down. It's just enough. Even the news and whatever I listen and hear colors me. It all comes inside. So yes, when you leave your home, do you leave the door open? No, you lock it so that people will not come in and take. So in the same way, we should not just open ourselves and allow ourselves to be colored unless it's good color. Because to allow yourself to be colored with something that's not good means to bring yourself down, right? So instead, I can color. So at my work, right? Just like we have this today, everything is on Zoom. Every day we have our daily meeting in the morning. And you know, when everyone comes on, it's like a group of like 6 to 8 people. Before the business starts, the actual meeting, we all sit there and look at one another. And then I smile because I'm happy. I don't need to work hard, right? Like, so I smile and they are like, why is he smiling? What's going on? And every day I smile, right? So they have to make some comment about maybe I'm faking it. So the point is, just by smiling, just by being who you are, definitely that energy influences them. And in the same way, it will influence me. So we need to become those who help everyone to float and not sink with everyone down. So when we hold on again to that higher energy, to that higher, then we can empower ourselves. We can become children and light too in front of, and then we bring that energy out to the world. And in fact, we need to connect everyone to that same powerhouse so everyone can get ignited. I don't know if we're deviating.
But as you
from
say,
the
you
topic.
have to, yes.
No.
Excuse me?
No, I
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
sure if I was deviating
Oh, no.
from the topic.
No, not at all, not at all. I think, but you have to be open to this, right? You have to recognize this. I find many people are habituated to the negative, as we said in the beginning, that to open yourself up to experiment and try being positive. And sometimes by acting positive, as you say, it naturally over time will take over. I think it's a practice. I know with myself, when I was younger, I never complimented people. I don't know what it was when I was younger. Maybe my parents didn't compliment me so much. But today I decided, well, let me see how it feels to, you look nice, and try and really mean it. Now everyone is beautiful. And it's true, it comes because it was a practice. I made a concerted effort to acknowledge people for their beauty. And this was many, many years ago, before I started studying with Brahma Kumaris. Brahma Kumaris is now just, I'm now understanding what was going on, but I had a feeling inside of pain almost. So how can we experiment like that to try it, just taste it, and then get the reward of the feeling good? Doesn't it make you want to do it more? That positive taste makes you want to get more. It's a very good feeling to share with people that love and that peace.
Yes, definitely. But you know, as I listen to you, so the beauty of it all is when we're able to create the right balance, when we are able to serve ourselves, which means is to take the time to study like we're doing now, or to have some spiritual wisdom, and to have some time for ourselves, for our own self-growth, but at the same time, be part of the collective, be part of someone else, be helpful, and be constructive, and give a compliment, right? That's helpful. And if at work people complain, and suddenly you're just saying some good things, right? That is helpful. That is constructive energy. So we have to practice that. So whatever we invest in our practice of goodness, we take naturally. It's the balance out there. That's the right balance. We invest it in sharing it with others, in giving to others, and that's when it multiplies. That's when it feels good. So part of it is it's to be for the self, but not selfish. It's to be for the self, so I can become strong, so that I can help everyone to move forward. And this is really something divine, right? It's usually we want to hold on to things, and we get attached to things, and we want to accumulate. But when you accumulate spiritual treasures, when you accumulate peace, happiness, you can increase it as much as you want, and the more you share it, it just increases for everyone. So it's a different formula there, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of holding on to things and trying to, possess, we invest all our happiness and love. It's very natural, just like you expressed, how it felt so good and you wanted to do more of it because it feels good, it makes others good. And there's another secret there. The income multiplies because there's a currency. So one thing is to earn those bills, the money bills, but the other thing, the currency that's as important, if not more, and that connects to those energies that you mentioned, is the energy of blessings. And blessings are nothing but pure wishes and good feelings that people have for you because you gave them something that's nice. You helped, whether it was even a smile. So those blessings are your income too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I just want to steer for a minute. I see we're getting questions, which is wonderful. Please put your questions. I forgot to mention it. Thank you. Put it in the chat. We will have time for Q&A. And I tell you, Zvika is going to answer all of your questions because he's been answering mine now for 2 days. So put your questions in the chat and we will absolutely look forward to getting it. It's funny when you're talking about gifts that people give you. I cannot remember a gift my husband has given me. Every birthday or Valentine's Day gets me a gift. And I'll say, what'd you get me last year? And I don't remember. But at the moment, it was wonderful. Thank you so much. You got me flowers, or he got me, a shirt or something. But what I do remember are things that he told me, feelings that he expressed to me, that I can remember that from 10 years ago. He would have said something so sweet and so pure that my heart, I could verbatim quote that what he said. That's what I remember. Do I remember last year what he got me? No. The material things, they disappear. But the kindness and the sweetness and the fact that he picked up after himself in the house when I was tired, I came home from work and he goes, look what I did. And the house was so clean, but he did it out of love, that he wanted me, and I came home and I remember that, and I go, look, that's what you remember. I think that's what we're talking about, that being detached so you can love someone, but be detached enough to give even more, detached And I don't know, we talk about sometime in many different spiritual traditions, they talk about detachment. But detachment isn't nothing in pulling away. It's actually, as you said, your heart is full. That's when you can really give of yourself, right?
Yeah.
When you're, like right now, my heart is bursting. I'm having too much fun. So with you talking, so my heart is full and I want to tell everybody about what I'm going to put out there. So can you speak to that? Where does that fullness, by holding someone's hand, that spiritual fullness, it's amazing feeling.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say something about those blessings, right? How do you know the impact of blessings or the income of blessing is? Think about someone that is there's a group of people in a room, and then they enter the room. And just see in front of your eyes that when they enter the room, everyone is saying, "Hi, we've not seen you for so long. We're so happy to see you." He feels those loving, welcoming blessings. So that means people give you the certificate of blessings, as opposed to if you didn't do that well and you didn't give happiness and you didn't earn the blessing, you cannot buy them actually with. So you will not get such a response. That's why the blessings are really like an elevator in your life. They make you go high, just like without working hard, because everyone cares about you, loves you. So these are the blessings. Now, regarding that detachment and love, right? So we need to focus about
touch it.
Huh? Yeah,
we'll touch upon it.
Yeah. No. So what I'm saying is, we just need to give love, but selfless love, because not the love with possessiveness. That's where the aspect of attachment comes in. So detachment is nothing but to have a little underground resource where I can stand on my own feet and not fall apart or be devastated whatever happens. This is the detachment, is to be strong and self-sufficient. And this can only happen when I transcend my consciousness. We say here, from the limited to the unlimited. So to be a spiritual being is to transcend the perishable. So when I make effort to consider myself this spiritual being and connect with my spiritual parent, it's really an inner work, but it's a little inner space in which I really become detached. And that doesn't mean that I don't love anyone. The opposite is true. Because of that strength that I'm getting and that fullness, I'm actually unconditionally loving to everyone. And I let go of the selfish love, which means it's a love that has a lot of expectations. And sometimes when those expectations are not met, there's disappointment and the heart is aching. And I can get attached to anything. Basically, attachment means to care about something. I can get attached, and I need to be attached in a way. But the art of being loving and detached means to really become attached to my eternal connection. And then I can become free from other things. And it shouldn't sound scary to anyone, because the expression of that is that as a human being, I become very loving to all, very cooperative, very helpful, and I have a healthy life. The
Mhm.
attachment is something that actually mixes with that pure love and puts some
Mhm.
limits on it. You know, as soon as I'm attached to something, I give less to other things. You know, I may be biased, and then someone else may be hurt because of that. So all of these type of anomalies happen when there's no detachment. So it's always a balance of loving, being extremely loving, but at the same time knowing to be strong without being dependent. That's the detachment.
Right. When you talked about the boats, and I'm going to go back to the boats because my husband was a sailor, so we spend some time on boats. So I always love the expression. We talked about this, the expressions, because they come through my mind. A rising tide raises all boats. That there, when everything is good and the tide rises, everyone rises. And isn't that a wonderful thing? It's the same thing, but that's only if you think the boat will be okay. So if you like boats, as I do, you want all the boats to be happy. You want all the boats, the tide, you know, there's enough, you know, the one thing when I was looking and your lovely wife was doing her meditation and those beautiful pictures, this planet is beautiful. It has so much for everyone. We don't have to covet everything. You know how you covet things. I think most traditions and religions, the one of the don't covet it. You want to give it away. There's enough, you know, if God has given enough for everyone, and we should put others, as Ram and those who've seen Ram, put others in front. Because when you put others in front, you will, as you said, that currency, I love that, will expand. You're going to get even more. Do you agree? Do you think there's enough for everyone? I always thought there is enough. When you really get down to it, there's enough for everyone, everyone
I
in
completely
this
agree.
world.
And it's just going to multiply.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
I do.
And it's when we covet it and we hold on to it and we attach, that's when we become the miser and we don't enjoy it. You know, that's the detachment. You have everything. You fall asleep on your toys, but you don't enjoy your toys.
Right. Yeah.
And what I mean by toys, the good things, all the things, you know, that's a fable they used to talk about. So Ken, you had asked this, you know, about remaining carefree in all circumstances. That's a really, even for, you know, for someone me who's studying this, being carefree in all circumstances, looking, as you said, that gift, every obstacle is a gift and everything is an opportunity. Is that what we aspire to, or that's what you aspire to?
Yeah, well, I was saying every one of us will have a challenge, but we have to have the courage to overcome whatever our soft spot is. And for that, we need to understand that whatever the challenge is, there is actually meaning and benefit. There's a gift for it. For me, in it. That's what it is. And yeah, as much as I can hold on to.
We got some really, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just looked at the chat and we're getting lots of questions, which is good. I get nervous. I'm not that technically savvy. So I said, oh, I better look at the chat. And I'm like, oh, there's lots of questions.
Yeah, let's pick one.
But please finish what you were saying. Sorry.
No, it's a good thing maybe to.
Okay, well, there's one.
You want to read the question?
Yeah, to go to the questions, because there are a few. Yes, I will read them to you. It says, going along with what was said, I would like to share that in this learning process, we go beyond our, I believe it says, our expectations and experiences in order to see that which is not what we want to see due to our expectations or experiences. So the learning process, we go beyond our expectations and experiences in order to see what is not what we see, that we go I guess, and Kenneth, the gentleman who had put that, it's a great question.
Yeah.
That we're held back oftentimes from our expectations. I'm not sure how you want to frame
Well,
that.
I
Then we
mean,
have a question about
this kind of makes me think of, and I feel like saying in response to that, and this is something, Sister Moini, who is one of our seniors and teachers, she always said that, when she prays to God or meditates or whatever, she never really asks anything from God. She doesn't put any requests. And when we asked her how come, she said, how do I know what he wants to give me? Maybe he wants to give me much more than I could even ever dream or ask. So why am I saying this in connection with this? Because sometimes our expectation, it's all based on maybe, I don't know, I feel like using the word facticity, all the facts and the history, but maybe there's something bigger which we don't see, which whatever is the way to actually move me to that. So yeah, I may not even realize that there's a gift there for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So the
mm-hmm.
thing is to, when something comes, embrace it, not resist it or avoid it. Embrace it, reframe it,
Walk through it.
understand the secret.
Reframe it. Well, we have a question about reframing.
Yeah.
A big one. This is from, I'm going to mention her, Louise, my co-partner. And Louise says hello, because she said she had a lovely weekend with you at Pace Village with your family, and she says hello. But she has a question, which may be on many of our attendees' minds tonight. How do you reframe the pandemic?
Yeah.
I can even speak to that, but I want to hear because I can reframe it too.
No,
I
you go
have.
ahead.
And I love that.
It seems that you had some personal experience with that, of reframing.
Yeah.
So why don't you share what you have?
Yeah. Well, thank you. But it was rough in the beginning. We did lose, I did lose my father. I lost an uncle. I lost many, many people, but I could have fallen in sadness, but I did not. I was very surprised in the study, the Brahma Kumaris, how well I held up. I mean, I actually was able to give comfort to other family members who could not do as well, who were upset. I was amazed at the strength, the power that I had. And it wasn't necessarily, it was sad and bittersweet, but I was able to see the positive of it, and I was able to give strength to others. And I think my family noticed that. But from that point, I was able to use the time for reflection. There are so many good things, I just every day, I think I'm more blessed. I got to know my spiritual father even more. I had more time to spend. I didn't have to commute 3 hours a day. I was fortunate. I was able to keep my job, and I didn't commute 3 hours a day. And that time I was able to devote to study and to meditation and family. And so it became like a gift for me. I almost was afraid to show people how well I was doing. We talk about, but instead I turned it and said, no, I'm going to show people I'm good. I'm doing great. And people want to know why. And I tell them why. I study, I meditate. I have a wonderful coterie of people that I work with and play with in spirit. So I think I was able to reframe the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, but I made that choice. And it's been okay.
Right. And even for me, I mean, it's hard for me to think big about such events that happen like in the world and reframe them at that level, but I do try to stay at my own little thing, just like you did, and see how can I still hold on to a positive attitude, to see the good in the things as much as I can, you know, how to, with my spirit, go above and not allow myself to experience that sorrow. And that doesn't mean that I don't care, or, you know, like I don't feel for whatever is going on. It just, you know, just try to stay above it. That's my reframing. Don't know if that
It's also been
answered.
an opportunity to do charity too, to
Right.
do charity. I have had opportunities that I would normally not have, blessings, if you will, to be tapped to do things, you know, like I was out of nowhere, I was asked to work at a vaccination center. It was incredible. What a gift. Hard work, but I never got to see the best in people. I got an opportunity to see most beautiful, beautiful souls working in very tough conditions. And I would fall on my knees practically when I got home. How was I picked to do this? It was amazing. And to see all the people you could help. So I got to see such good things, you know, and that was a blessing too. It was able for me to see people at their best.
Yeah. And even at the global level, I think that as we come out of this, which I feel we are, that's my feeling, there are a lot of, as a global world, you know, things that happen that are positive, like, I don't know, the amount of, what do you call, the environmental aspect of it, you know? People did not drive, the gas, the use of gas. So, I mean, I cannot really enumerate right now, but somewhere in my feeling, I feel that as humanity, there was also learning that happened out of that. And some good things also will happen out of that.
But I feel for people, and this, I don't want to make light of it. It is tough, but we can choose how we face that. And that's, I think, what I find, you know, I can only speak on my level. You can make a choice. You can wallow in the sorrow, as some family members of mine, I will say, they did not do as well. But I was very fortunate. I'm so grateful that I was able to, if you will, rise above it. And I feel for everyone, because everyone, you know, I don't want to make light of it. The pandemic is a real challenge for so many. And I saw a lot of heartache too, but I was able to turn the heartache and help people, at least in my small way. So that was a gift. So I will say that we're going to start. We had asked you, just like Ira said, Don, would you be willing to do a meditation for us?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna just
Thank you.
share my screen, and I'm gonna try to speak the commentary. If you don't mind, I'll put myself on my video off while I speak the commentary. So just give me a moment here. I'm not able to, you need to make me a co-host or something so I can share my screen.
Oh, Eric. Hi, brother Eric. Can you make Zvika a co-host so he can share his screen?
Should be okay.
All right. Yeah, I see it. It's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I gently withdraw my attention and just connected to the inner self. Just come to that meeting place inside. Salute, respect, and love your true self. And bring your attention to your heart, to your chest, and allow those pure feelings to emerge and flood the heart. Pure feeling of love. A stream of good wishes for yourself, for everyone, and for the world. And as you feel the love, remember the eternal bond, the eternal connection to a loving, supreme parent, the parent of the soul. Become the child that holds the hand of the guide, the benevolent parent. He has unlimited feelings of love and mercy and cannot bear to see the children sad. And just connect the heart, connect the love in those feelings. And just remember that no matter what, I have to stay in this love. I have to stay in these pure feelings. I have to share the light in this world. Know that you are loved unconditionally. And decide that no matter what, it's your responsibility to keep the light ignited and to share light with everyone. my brothers and sisters, so all can be ignited. Om Shanti.
So thank you so much, Zvika and Iris. Thank you both. This was just, you said there's a reason why we're here, and this was a blessing for me. And I'm grateful for Global Harmony House for putting me in this chair tonight. And all of you who are there, as Brother said it so beautifully in his meditation, I wish you a very full heart, and that with your eyes, you only see beauty, with your ears, you only hear sweet murmurs, and you have it so full that you can give to everyone and feel how I feel now. So thank you so much, Zvika. And Iris, if you're here, I see you. Thank you both. And thank you all of you for joining us every week through the, yes, and thank you. I thank you so much for your questions, and my Louise and Brother Eric and Sister Inez, who I know is working so hard. So thank you all. My heart is full. I give it out to you, and thank you again. And we will see you next week. Next week, our subject will be compassion of human nature. So we're going to pick off right where we left off today. So thank you, and Om Shanti, everyone. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Michelle, Zvika. It's wonderful. Iraz, come back again, and we'll see you all next Thursday, 6:30.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'll be back. Thank you. Bye-bye.